Yo, bro, are you living in a closet?
It's not a closet, it's actually a capsule hostel, and I'm trying to make a video about self-love right now.
Ah, self-love. So you mean a nice pizza Netflix evening?
No. I mean self-love like waking up early and going exercising or doing emotional inner work or sacrificing things that maybe feel good right now for things that will fulfill you and support everybody in the future.
Why do you make self-love sound so boring?
Because that's the point. Maybe self-love is actually about figuring out which parts of yourself you actually want running the show.
You're gonna have to explain. This makes no sense to me.
Self-love is a really big point of contention in our society. There are a lot of people who think that self-love means staying home, eating chocolate cake, chilling out, resting whenever you possibly can, and overall just doing what feels good. And then there's the whole hedonic treadmill community, the people who think it's all about the grind, it's all about results, it's all about how quickly I can climb this corporate ladder. In between all of that, I've been trying to figure out what self-love means to me. And I'm seeing that there's some valid points on both sides, but what I see no one ever questioning is, which self are they trying to love? Trust me, when I wake up at 5:30 a.m. to exercise, I have the voices in my head that are telling me to go back to sleep, that this isn't actually good for me, that I deserve some rest and relaxation, that I should just take a self-care day, that it's okay to take a break. All of these voices are running through my head. And also, trust me, I have the voices in my head that said that 5:30 were way too late to wake up, that I should have been up at 4:30 or 5, that I already should have run 3 miles, and that I'm way behind schedule and I'll never achieve my dreams, that I need to grind harder. And because I'm aware of both of these voices, I'm left with a question. Which voice is it actually self-loving to nourish? And thus begs the ultimate question. Which is the real self? Which one do I identify with? Or if it's both, how do I make a decision? And what does self-love even freaking mean? And thus brings us to the conclusion that I've come to. Self-love means absolutely nothing without spirituality. And I'll tell you why. Without a strong basis in spirituality, self-love and self-care just turn into ego gratification because you are confused about who you actually are. If you're confused and you think you are your body, then self-love and self-care is going to be doing whatever makes you feel good. Because life isn't about the expansion of your soul, it's about the sensual gratification of your body. And if you think that you are your achievements or your personality, then self-love and self-care is going to be grinding and doing whatever you possibly can to achieve the most things before you inevitably perish and all of those achievements go away because they're freaking temporary and you're not your achievements, you're your soul. But if you think that you are something greater, something part of a whole, something part of the entire universe, a soul, a part of a transcendental experience, then the question becomes far more interesting. And it's also far more confusing, because the question you ask yourself is, what is the will of the collective, or the will of the universe, or the will of God in this moment? And you, at all costs, try to get your ego out of the way, because you know if your ego is in there, that it's going to hijack your decision, and it's inevitably, inherently going to be wrong. Now, this is where balance and middle path and all that confusing stuff comes into, which is way more difficult than walking on one extreme or the other. And we have to get to the point where in every single moment we're praying and asking for God's will, or seeing what is needed of us and how we can be of service to other people. And inevitably that is going to include days where maybe you're sick and you rest. Or maybe that will include days where you're not getting adequate sleep, or you're just completely grinding for something that is much larger than yourself. When we work every single day in service of a self that is not our ego, what is self-love and self-care becomes far more complicated than what feels good and what makes us achieve a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I've used self-love and self-care in the past as excuses for all kinds of narcissistic and selfish behavior that in no way benefited me or anyone else. Canceling plans I could have shown up to because I was tired, or just not putting in the effort required because it didn't feel good. At a certain point, self-love just started to feel narcissistic. It just became an excuse for me not to care about other people nearly as much as I care about myself, and really how much I care about my own ego and what feels good in any moment. And that's just no longer how I want to live my life. So I guess all of this to say is that I think self-love is kind of bullshit. I think the question we should be asking ourselves not, is this self-care? But really, what is the universe asking of me right now? And how can I be of service? For me, that ironically means making YouTube videos discussing things that are very vulnerable to me when I am incredibly afraid of being seen and being on camera and all of this stuff. And I can feel that that's what the universe is asking of me, so here I am. If you like this, like and subscribe. Okay, I'll see you later.